Yeah, true, true.
Wonder Egg is my prediction for the show that I make a video about and tell everybody how good it is. That's my prediction for that.
Yeah, that makes sense
Uh,
for you.
Yeah, it's very Ian.
if you want to change the future, just break the egg.
Just break the egg!
Break it.
Break it! This video is a long time coming. Towards the end of winter, I had planned on making a grand video about how much I was enjoying Wonder Egg Priority, the great things it was doing, and why you should be watching it. But as I saw more and more people talking about it online, I figured I'd just wait until the series was over to be able to discuss it in full, and to make sure the ending managed to stick the landing. Well, if you haven't watched the special finale of Wonder Egg that released at the end of June, I highly recommend going to do that because it's something. Also, I'm going to mildly spoil it. I honestly didn't hate it as much as many others did, but it does feel like a weirdly paced episode of the show and not an actual ending. It did provide me with one of the most unintentionally funny moments I have ever seen in any show though, so I suppose that's a positive.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And while I don't think it was the intended point, I actually find the idea of the characters in your favorite adventure story just giving up at the end wildly interesting as a thought experiment at least. But it wasn't the ending any of us wanted. I mean, it wasn't even an ending. And I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you the finale was actually genius. Despite all of that, though, all the issues that will probably be the first thing most people bring up about Wonder Egg, the show is still iconic in my eyes. I will still always remember Wonder Egg Priority for all the incredible moments it was able to create. Just from the themes it tackled alone, the show stands out amongst its contemporaries, handling more types of real trauma than I'm willing to list out here, and doing it all with deftness and grace. Every new topic was dealt with using the required gravity and seriousness, and the fact that they were able to do that in a show that features so many bright colors and so much fast-paced action is astounding. The writing was crisp and poignant, always hiding something and leading the audience around with tiny breadcrumbs. I'm still in awe of the spectacle that is episode 11 and how it all came together. I will always be impressed by this fully fleshed out world and its characters that Shinji Nojima was able to create. And if I had to choose only one strength, it has to be the wonderful main quartet we were given. There are so many moments that are just ingrained in my mind. From Rika's birthday to Ai deciding to go back to school and Karu's entire conversation with Momo. The show was just emotionally dense nearly all the way through, and getting to see these girls come into their own and work through their own personal demons was incredibly rewarding. Part of me now believes that in order to create these highs, the writing had to fly too close to the sun, and that ultimately the show may have gone off the rails no matter what, due to having trouble bringing it all together. But as it stands, whatever the overarching story was doing can't take away those smaller moments of sadness, triumph, and laughter that the show was rife with. It also helped that just everything looked absolutely beautiful, with a level of detail in the animation that was breathtaking at times, even if it was unsustainable. Every character had a distinct and memorable design, and if there's one thing that I know will stick around, it's the Ai profile pictures and Rika fan art. If Darling in the Franxx has taught us anything, it's that character design can become a show's legacy. For me, the show's legacy will be that of a show which, week in, week out, made me excited to tune in, made me excited to see the next piece of incredible animation, and made me deeply attached to a group of girls just trying to figure out who they are. But it'll also always be a show that I remember and think about whenever the current state of the anime industry and the treatment of its animators is brought up. It's unavoidable in any discussion of Wonder Egg to mention that the production just completely ran aground due to a storm of tightening schedules, a fairly small team, and a whole lot of work. It's why the finale was delayed, why there's a recap episode, and honestly, it's a miracle that they even kept the show running for as long as they did. I feel woefully underqualified to really dig in and discuss the specifics here, so if you're not privy to all that happened through the show's run, I'll direct you to a couple of threads by Kevin at YuYuCow on Twitter, or over at the Sakuga blog, as they are far more smart and qualified than I am here. I've thought a bit about it, and ultimately I'm not sure I'd even want a season 2. Maybe if we could be sure the production would be better and the writing saved, but at this point I'm content to just let it die. A show with wonderful potential taken from us too soon by an army of issues. Almost poetic in a sense. However, this is the kind of fresh, original, beautiful anime that I wish we got more of every year. But in an age where anime is becoming more of a commodity and the most lucrative projects are cranking out popular manga adaptations, I'm not exactly hopeful we'll see something like Wonder Egg again anytime soon. To make matters worse, the production issues point a terrifying picture of what can happen to even the most passionate of teams, and no one should be working themselves to death over an anime. If there are not huge structural changes to how shows are made, projects as ambitious as this will be few and far between. But that's a defeatist attitude. Wonder Egg also taught us that there are still plenty of innovative, creative people willing to go crazy on an original TV anime. I mean, we quite literally just got an unbelievable, complete original this past season in Odd Taxi, so perhaps not all is lost. I just wish things had ended differently. I wish we were sitting here discussing Wonder Egg Priority as a contender for Anime of the Year, and I wish the staff had been able to see a fully realized version of their vision come to life. But even in what we did get, I think their vision shone through pretty damn bright. And in it, they provided me with a show that I'll never forget.